All right. Well, welcome to our very first Key Value Retail Technology podcast. My name is Christoph Gräber. I'm co-founder and chief revenue officer of Key Value. We are an innovation advisory and consultancy that has a very strong focus on the retail industry. And in today's very first episode, we want to talk about who we are and also about the launch of this Key Value Retail Technology podcast. I want to discuss this with a special guest today. It's Anton Pershin, also co-founder of Key Value. Hi, Anton. How are you today?
Hi, Christoph. Oh, good, good. Thank you. Thank you yourself.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. So, today we would like to discuss a bit who we are addressing with this podcast, and also we want to specifically touch on some of the great topics that are on the list for the future recordings during the next weeks. But before we do this, Anton, would you please introduce yourself first?
Sure, sure. So first of all, thanks for having me. It's end of the year, we're all busy, but thank you for really taking time and freeing up your calendar for this recording. So I've been in retail and manufacturing industries for all my career, to be honest. It's pretty much like a lifelong commitment for me. And Not only I've been working for software vendors like Oracle, TXT, but I also spent several years in retail specifically, where I served as a CIO and later head of supply chain. And as a member of the management team back then, helped my company to grow from 100 million USD to almost 1 billion in revenue within 5 years. So it was pretty tremendous experience, but a very tiring period, as you can imagine. But I'm very thankful especially for the shareholders who put their trust in me, 25-year-old guy, and awarded with an opportunity to learn really by doing, because clearly my experience back then was nothing comparing to what we and our team know about the retail.
Yeah, wow, it's very impressive experience that you have, and it's great working with you. Anton and I think we've been working together now for almost 5 years. At least I think in next year it's going to be 5 years. And after a lot of challenges that we gone through together in 2018, we decided to build up our own business, Key Value, and it was definitely our goal to create something special and something different for the industry, and maybe you can tell a bit about this. I mean, tell the audience what makes us so unique, and what were our, let's say, what was our foundation, everything we built on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, indeed. Over the last, I guess, 15 years, we have collectively implemented over, I guess, 100 complex projects in retail. And now I'm speaking on behalf of our team that had, as you said, started working together a long time before we launched Key Value. So from those deployments, we have learned really a great deal about what you should or should not do, what successful projects need for its success, and we also observed lots of inefficiency that really costed, at the end of the day, clients and integrators lots of wasted money and time. So I think the main reason why we founded Key Value is just simply to set a better standard, new standard of how implementations can be done and how practical value can be created. That's pretty much the main reasons. And in other words, we believe that I think it's not fair to really ask clients to pay for integrators in inefficiency. And therefore, if we reduce the waste throughout the whole implementation process or consulting process, I should say, we reduce the overall cost, right? And that makes technologies more affordable. And therefore, we help companies with less resources to stay competitive. That's pretty much our mission, I believe, to democratize the access to new technologies and innovations.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree, and I think that's what has been our idea from the beginning. Maybe what I want to add to this is the thought that we had, I think directly after we started thinking about this, what could be our, let's say, um, light on the horizon? What are we, in a couple of words, how can we summarize the message? And we always said, think big, start small, and move fast. And I think this is a statement that is true in many ways. Not only when we go and implement solutions with our customers, where we really want to discuss the big picture and think about where we want to go with our clients and what benefits we want to generate. But at the same time, make sure that in today's world we start small, and move fast from there, instead of thinking about huge projects that take 1, 2, 3 years, have a huge amount of backlog and a huge amount of work in front of us, and also cost. So that's a statement that is really important, and that kind of comes up to my mind every day, no matter what we do. Let's just take this podcast, for example, right? Let's think big about the podcast. What do we want to achieve with this? How many people do we want to reach? And what benefits do we want to bring to the listeners and the viewers? But let's get it started, and then move fast from there. So I think that's also very important. But if we talk about retail technology, I mean, obviously we are a consultancy that focuses on technology, and that helps retailers and also fashion companies to be successful in the market, and to kind of be better than other competitors. And we kind of decided to have three business practices in our organization that address different parts or different topics in the retail world. And those three are retail planning and optimization. Then there's customer experience and supply chain. Those are the main topics. And also those are the topics that we want to address in the next weeks when we do our podcast. And I think it makes sense to discuss a bit about those different areas, and then look at it from a key value perspective, and what benefit it can bring to our customers. So let's start with retail planning and optimization. So what's the idea behind this business practice? Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, for us, it's important really to not only to focus on technologies, because that's the pretty much the second step in our vision. So we usually start from the value, from business drivers. So it's, to be honest, to answer the question, why are we doing this project, what we're trying to achieve, and use suitable and affordable technology to bring it forward, pretty much, right? So the main expertise is key in this process, and having that in mind, we decided that it makes sense to stay focused, because focus is everything. And if we are focused within this domain, retail planning, then we can, of course, create a lot of synergy within this, let's say, expertise box, so to call. In retail planning optimization, we're looking for technologies and pretty much innovations that can help to enhance and improve and streamline the planning process using artificial intelligence, machine learning, microservices architecture, all of the, let's say, modern tech that is out there. But we really would like to put it in a specific business domain. So people can, without a proper, let's say, technical or deep technical background, can still leverage that. And someone like a planner can comfortably use machine learning capabilities to get a better job, easier job done. That's pretty much the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And this area, the retail planning and optimization part, will take a big space when we do the podcast in the future. So we already have interesting episodes set up where we talk about strategic planning, what it can do for your business. Then obviously we're going to also talk about merchandise planning. We're going to have guests, hopefully also from our customers that tell us, how to do planning for e-commerce, how specifically planned for big department stores. So we hopefully get some great experience also from real life projects. And at the same time, we talk about technology. So we are working with a great company called Amonica Retail that provides a really superb and state-of-the-art planning technology. We also have partners that are specialized in the price optimization part. So all of that will be topics that we're going to talk about. The second business practice we have is the customer experience part. So maybe you can give us an impression about that business practice and what we're trying to accomplish with our customers.
Customer experience is a relatively new practice for us, but something that we believe may become quite substantial, let's say, part of our business going forward. It's an area where we see a lot of, let's say, disrupting technologies, and we partner up with small startups and scale-ups that bring really interesting solutions to the market. And our mission is really just to help them to put it in a business environment and extract even more value. Because, of course, technology is not for the sake of technologies. You need to really understand how to benefit from it. In customer experience, we look into the process that we call sales engagement. So pretty much everything that happens, between when you have a customer at the door and then the moment then the customer checks out. So there are lots of things that should happen, lots of engagement, lots of collaboration, lots of exchange, and we really look for an opportunity to make this process smoother, better, and of course beneficial for both sides, customers and retailers. And as I said, that's a very let's say hot domain, hot segment, especially because of the COVID situation, right? Because you're not going to get more customers in your stores, but those who are there, you need to serve superbly. So you increase your conversion, and maybe at the end the overall spend.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, right now this is a very hot topic. Obviously, you have to give the unique experience to your customers that come into your store. So the sales engagement part will be definitely on the list for topics to discuss during the future podcasts. We're going to have Merco, which is a great technology provider in that area that will be on the podcast, and we're going to discuss how they see this market and also what they can bring to their customers. Last but not least, the business practice supply chain that we have. What's our focus there?
Yeah, again, the pandemic was good from the perspective that it put into light all sorts of problems that retailers have these days, and supply chain was one of the core, let's say, issues, I would say, because it was not as flexible as many people wanted. It wasn't as efficient as many people really wish to have. So supply chain is a backbone of retail, no doubt about that. And because we do have quite a lot of experience of in supply chain optimization and strategy and topology and all sorts of things, we believe that this is something we can help retailers straight away, because our core skill or core set of skills is in modeling. And through modeling, we can increase the efficiency of supply chain significantly. So we look for an opportunity to bring quick wins straight away and help people not only to manage their current problems, but also to get ready for, let's say, next year. I just wanted to say that another crisis, but I didn't want to say that. we want another crisis. No.
We don't want that. No, absolutely. And I mean, supply chains are changing dramatically right now, right? Everybody is thinking about bringing back productions also to Europe, from Asia to Europe. A lot of simulations going on, a lot of scenarios that need to be modeled and executed in the end. So, yeah, this is another very interesting area that we're going to talk about in the future episodes here. Um, yeah, so Anton, I mean, thank you for this quick overview. We're already 15 minutes into this podcast. We're still trying to figure out what would be the best, time and duration of this. So I think from here, we're gonna say goodbye to the listeners and the audience, and hope that we're able to excite the guys and the listeners, the viewers, to join back in, follow us, and then join the conversations we're going to have on these exciting topics. Well, Anton, thank you very much.
Thank you, and I hope you guys enjoy the series. And there is another big topic that we want to talk about at some point, which is digital twins, and it's going to be quite interesting from many perspectives. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Talk to you later. Thank you. Bye.